Hello everybody, this is Joel, aka Bourbon Dingo, and welcome to episode 15 of my Let's Play Crusader Kings 2. At the end of the last episode, I accidentally forgot to save, and that's not that big a deal. I believe I've lost 2 days. We saved almost immediately after I hit January 1st. I apologize, but I don't think anything has really changed in that instance for us. Realistically, beyond that, we're just going to go ahead and get started. I did a decent overview of what was going on in the world. As you can see, both Lombardy, Tuscany, and Bohemia have split from the Holy Roman Empire. And the Byzantine Empire is still expanding. Rus tried to reform, though there is a portion of it that's staying away from it. And all we're waiting on right now is for these two combats to be over that we're currently in. Wars to be over that we're currently in, and for Norway to run into some issues. Alright, let's go ahead and get the clock started. As you can see down here, we are currently in the process of sieging Nantes. And once we get to that point, we will likely have enough over the Duke of Brittany. I believe he does own, he owns a small area down here as well. So if we have to, we can go down here and press that point of the attack. Right, I'm going to pause real fast. Sorry about that. Was lacking my clock. Make sure I didn't run too far over. One of my sons has contracted consumption. We hope he doesn't pass away. Okay. My son wants a fief of his own to govern. I don't really have anything for him. I'm going to appoint my marshal real fast. Yeah, I don't really have anything for him right now. Can attempt to usurp this duchy here whenever I have finished the combat with him. So he's not ready yet. Not entirely sure what war is going on here. Okay. Princess Cothilda is going to try to aid us in killing Gudmund, who is leading troops. Interesting. He's currently in war for Duke Austin's claim on Hälsingland. Not sure where that's at. Alright, and it seemed to have worked perfectly. King Gudmund was caught in a deadly arrow crossfire between the scroll depository and a grassy knoll. The story we concocted about a lone bowman seems to have worked perfectly. And as you can see, his wife is pregnant. What we're hoping for is quite possibly not a son. I believe it's already passed. Even if it was a son, someone else has already inherited. So let's go ahead and take a look back real fast. I'm going to see if, and I can't invite her back because now she's the Duchess of Austenlet, but I may be able to invite, yes, I can invite my other granddaughter back. We succeeded with that, and as you can tell, we've gone ahead and King Einar is back, and like I said, he is a better ruler altogether, so I'm not certain what will happen there. Alright, we've won the Siege of Forres. Take a moment to glance around here real fast, figure out where that's at. Okay, that's the very first area here in Moray. Some vassal levies that have been raised too long. I'm going to go ahead and create the Duchy of Ulster, and I'm sorry, the Duchy of, is it Ulster? Ulster, and give that off to someone. Let's pause real fast. I believe I'm going to give it to Count Lachlan here. He really likes me, even with the desire for Ulster. And that should give us the ability to press de jure claims on Tyrconnell. Alright, we've succeeded in the Siege of Garant, which means that the Duke of Brittany down here may be close to surrendering. I believe what I may do is chase down his army right here, and I may not catch it in time. My daughter-in-law has passed away. He's the Baron, but he is not officially the Baron. Our grandson has become... Okay, that's interesting. Alright, that combat actually didn't raise my war score any, which is somewhat surprising. Dialing back one more time. Nothing really new has happened yet. Won the Siege of Elgin, which raises our war score a little bit here in Moray. He is actually a grandson. Strange. We'll pause real fast. Okay, that was just another siege issue. Apparently, somewhere along the way, I had gained consumption, but it has passed. Becoming a very stable ruler because I've ruled for an exceptionally long period of time. While that is good for the current ruler, it isn't very good for the next ones who come up because it's a lot harder to tell just how good of a ruler I am, or how good everyone's opinion of me is actually, instead of the small bonus I'm getting from the prestige buff. So it's fine. Let's go ahead and send some ships over here to pick up our soldiers. Alright, we've won our final siege necessary over here, so let's go ahead and call for peace. We've tossed him into jail, and I believe he should only have one county. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to take that county away from him. And what that'll do is that ends up destroying, I believe, the Duchy of Moray, and we can go ahead and recreate that as we please. But we're going to leave him in jail. Actually, he may not have any titles now. If he doesn't have any titles now, I may be able to banish him without any penalty and be able to get that gold from him. And that's exactly what I'll do. He has 158 gold. So we're going to banish him, gain that extra gold. We're going to turn right around and use that gold to create the Duchy of Moray. I'm taking a quick gander here. We want to put somebody that we like in control of Moray. In fact, let's go ahead and take a quick gander here. If I have a content son, I may land one of them. In fact, I'm going to take the chance and land Prince Dristan. Give him the County of Moray, include the lower titles. And then we're going to turn around and grant him the Duchy of Moray. Alright, we're going to pause real fast, set up a few more guardians here. And this is the absolutely awesome granddaughter. She's very impressive. This is definitely a child we're going to keep in our court. And I'll finish educating her. Look for someone who dislikes us. We have the Duke of Albany who really dislikes us. What I think I'll do is hand off possibly to my granddaughter. Okay. And this is also a grandson. And he's okay. Let's go ahead and I might... No, I'm not going to educate him. Let's go ahead and hand him off to... well, as I said, let's hand him off to somebody that dislikes us and earn a bit of praise from them. We can attempt to claim Normandy now if we really cared. I don't believe I am going to do that, however. Let's go ahead and send these guys back into Devon. Going to disband. Disbands, keep going for a while. Alright, once again we have the issue of the Heir of Cornwall. I'm not quite sure exactly what's going on there. Taking a look at the factions, I'm going to pause real fast so I can take a quick gander at what we have going on here. My heirs come of legal age. That's good. We'll be able to see how he's turned out. We have two people wanting Goodwick, which I believe is Scotland. One is Duke Malcolm of Galloway, and the other is Duke Adam of Albany. And they're pressing him for Constantine, and he's pressing it for himself. Right, taking a look at our heir, we can see that he has no negative bonuses. I wish he had had a level 4 education bonus, but I can handle that. See, he turned out fairly well. The only thing that's hurting is his intrigue, but it's still high enough to be normal. What we're going to look for real fast is we're going to find him a spouse. Especially one that can give him quite a bit in way of diplomacy. And I believe this will be her right here, Adeline, the Princess of the Holy Roman Empire. We're going to go ahead and set that up. Okay. I'm also going to claim the royal aid duty pay on that. We're going to pause real fast, and I'm going to spend a little bit of this upgrading my stuff. Put the training ground there, come up here, and we're going to upgrade to a medium barracks there. Again, we're just going to kick these away. I'm not really interested in those. Don't have any land to hand out. This is something we're going to have to watch out on. I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen, and there's not a whole lot that I can do here. This one will be the largest issue. The only way that I could get this to work out right is to completely and utterly go tyrant and revoke his titles from him. And in fact, let's see what it could be going away. This is going to be, he's a baron. And he is not my baron anymore. So there's nothing I can really do about that. That'll be something, possibly if he dies and France gains it during the course of this war, I might press the attack myself. We've stolen some more. Technology. Looking at this real fast, Norway seems to be in war with Sweden. You've just been called to help the Count of Lyon. I may decline this because it appears that we're like sept, but I'm not including myself in this combat. We'll let them find what they're going to do down here because it appears somebody else is being pressed for Duke now by the same person I just helped. So I'm stopping that. As we can see, Buchan has finally died. And that was the king we usurped the Kingdom of Scotland from. And his son has taken over. And his son doesn't really like us that much either. It's still that foreign conqueror negative that we have. But alright, my wife has passed away, so we're going to pause real fast. And I am going to go try to find me a good wife. Taking a chance just to look real fast. I'm not sure I want too many more children. That's not terrible. Trying to find a fairly average across the board. Score set, there we go. Gonna offer my hand possibly to that. I'll lose quite a bit, but she has some decent stats. So we're gonna go ahead and set this up, and when given the option, I'm just gonna go ahead and take the prestige from it to offset the penalty I had just received. As you can see, we can now control 6, so if I were to focus, I could likely take these areas once again. But that's what we're working on right now, is attempting to reclaim some of these areas. As you can see, the battle isn't going well for anyone down in Brittany. Okay, and there's apparently been a crusade called for Aragon. Let's go ahead and send our offer to join. Take a look down here and see where that crusade is actually being pursued. And that is truly just this whole area right here. I'm not sure I want to actually win that, so I'll get involved at a later point. Clear out some of our notifications. Take a gander at our known plots to make sure nobody here is exceptionally important to running. We have somebody here who wants to kill the Duke of Ulster, which we really don't want. And it's someone with weak claims on both my areas and not really that useful to the kingdom. So I'm going to go ahead and get her to end the plot. All right. Be building up what I can in these areas. Just for a bit of a disclaimer, I really haven't gotten that far into the game before. Normally something horrible happens and there's a huge level of disintegration in my kingdom, or I get bored. And I'm not really getting bored here. The issue I'm seeing is that I may end up losing quite a bit of this area. Alright, we have the Count of Atholl is trying to press his personal claim for Scotland. As you can see, they don't have nearly the percentage. And if each of them were to band together, they may be more threatening, but they'll also be fighting for all of the same land. France is splitting up something fierce. Taking a quick gander down here, you can see that he's still making everyone love us. Currently, the Pope absolutely adores us. My wife actually became pregnant at the age of 40. Taking a look, there is some war going on in Norway, but I still don't think it's enough to actually take his attention away from us right now. My courtier is married to a granddaughter. Alright, Count Kenneth of Buchan has inherited the county of Buchan from his father. And he was the one who had made a claim, I had thought. But as you can see, he's sitting there right there. He's ambitious. Let's pause real fast. My marshal has actually been imprisoned by Duke Ada of the Isles, which is no real problem for us. I'm actually going to turn my heir into my marshal. We're just going to send him to train troops. Duke Ada here has revoked the title of the county of Insagal, so he now controls both the Isle of Man and Insagal. Alright, there's a war going on between Duke Malcolm of Galloway and Count Clydesdale, so he now controls a larger portion of all that as well. We have a child that needs a guardian. Right, there appears to have been at least one more group splitting from France. And I had a son born. It appears Tuscany and possibly Lombardy both actively got away from the Holy Roman Empire. Not sure what happened there. Alright, the Pope is still in love with us, apparently. I'm gonna go ahead and upgrade to a large stable. We just had the Duke of Lothian pass away, and his son earned both the Duke and the County of Lothian. England has remained exceedingly stable under King Edgar the Kind. His heir, however, is very young. I believe maybe it had been his only son to his only son. Alright, we have just gotten this. I'm going to take it, and what it's going to do is it's going to drop me into a negative balance that we'll regain relatively quickly. I'm going to pause real fast. I believe I'm going to attempt the assassination of his only son, because that will change the inheritance to one of his other children, I believe. And let's go ahead and see who's willing to join us. We actually have quite a bit of intrigue power there. Because what we're hoping for right now is for England to start disintegrating again so that we can start eating up pieces of England. Alright, and then we're just going to hold off on that and see about what percentage we're at. Okay. My heir has just had his heir, who is also a genie, so that's pretty good. People are starting to join our plots. As I said, just in case he revolts, what I'm going to do is, alright, we can take a 200 gold, and it would end up being 250 in 5 years. So I believe I'll do that. Once again, all we're going to hold off for is, once we get to 250, I'll start paying attention to making sure it stays at that amount. But what I'm going to do is take a look real fast. You can see he's our kinsman, and he likes us a little bit, but what I would like to do is actually take this back for myself and keep it in control of this little area right here. As you can see, I can hold on to 6 pieces of domain. And so we're going to make him dislike us a little bit. Alright, I'm going to be falling in love with my wife. Alright, and as you can see, he very much dislikes us for pulling that away from him. Or he will here very shortly. Yeah. He's actually moved to a different court. But now we actually control this area. And taking a quick look at it, it's not very well built up, but we'll fix that. The good thing is that it will increase the amount of money we make. Taking a quick look, I have 167% plot power. I'm going to go ahead and take a gander real fast. Invite him. And as I said, it was his only son, who's already passed away, only had a son. I'm really wishing I knew who was in line after him, because if I could betroth one of my children to whoever that is before the death goes through, I might be able to put a Matherfall on the dynasty. So I'm going to look at real fast is the Kingdom of England, and as you can see, it only says primogeniture there, and it doesn't give me anyone else in that line. Okay, we've had a peasant revolt, so I'm going to go ahead and pull up some. Oops, I always do that. Pull up some troops in the area. Bring them together in Athol, and then I'll come down and attack Gowrie. Okay, my son wants a fief of his own to govern, but, or sorry, grandson, but I'm not going to give it to him. We're going to combine them, and I think in this instance I'm actually going to follow the idea of putting most of them into the center. I'll leave a couple on the flanks. Alright, we're coming up on our 30 minutes. We've at least passed it by now. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to let the time run out until the beginning of the year, and then we're going to call it quits. Pause real fast. I'm going to let him research military tech. A quick gander down here. You can see the war is going well for both of the people that we've sided with, even though we're not really helping them, which is no big issue. I really wish I could figure out who was in line for succession behind him. I believe it would go to one of his children, but it would go to a son of one of his daughters. So it possibly could be here. The Weiss house. Age 10, I'm not sure of the ability to actually set up a marriage here. I'll allow a matrilineal betrothal. And if something doesn't happen in a short period of time, that might go through. Alright, we're about 1 month away from having enough to repay our loan, and then whatever money we make after that point will be what we start spending again to upgrade our holdings, especially Gwent here, now that I've regained control of it. And we're up to the beginning of the year. I believe I'm going to go ahead and pull him away and move him to possibly start making claims in England, just on the off chance that we do actually foment some rebellion within it. I believe I'm just going to send him out into Shrewsbury here. Okay, we've come to a pause. Taking a quick gander around, we can see that the Holy Roman Empire hasn't reclaimed these areas yet. I suspect he will at some point. Coming back up, Rus is reformed to an extent. Ruthenia is trying, but it's still in combat. Georgia has formed. The Seljuks are trying to keep together as best they can, and the Fatimids are not doing very well at all. And they're spread out pretty much everywhere at this point. But after taking a quick look at that, we have a decent idea of what's going on out here. And even though we didn't really gain much land this one, we did some good stuff. So, I will see you during the next episode. Thanks for watching, guys.